Hello YouTube, this is AK from AK Tech, and today I'm going to do a quick review of the Samsung Epic 4G. The Samsung Epic 4G was released on August 31st to Sprint. It is a Sprint exclusive phone, and it costs $250 with a mail-in rebate and a 2-year activation, and it also costs an extra $10 a month for 4G coverage, which is available, I think, on 10 to 15% of America. Anyway, let me show you the phone. Now, the phone is pretty, it's a decent size. I can hold it in my hand, but I have pretty big hands. It's almost as big as the Evo. It's got a 4-inch Super AMOLED screen, and the Evo, in comparison, has a 4.3. The big difference between the Samsung Epic and the Evo is the fact that the Epic has a slide-up keyboard. The keyboard, as you can see, is very nice and big. You can feel all the buttons. The buttons are risen. It's easy to type on, but it's also easy to miss keys and think that you're hitting them, but you're not actually. The phone slides very nicely. One of the things that I felt about this phone is that it feels plastic. It feels cheap, unlike the Evo, which is pretty metally. But anyway, this is the phone, the home screen, with the Samsung version of this running 2.1, default widgets, default background, provides 7 screens. Now, if you are really actually planning on using this phone, you kind of have to use a different home screen. I use Launcher Pro, but for this demonstration, I'm just going to use the standard home screen. The standard home screen on every other Galaxy S phone, you can change the icons down here. On the Epic, you cannot. I don't know why. Samsung did release a firmware update last night, by the way, so it is running Android 2.1 firmware version 1, or firmware version 2, or firmware update 1, that's what it's called. Anyway, it's a very nice phone. It has an LED notification up here that blinks red if you have a new text message or if you're charging. Anyway, let's take a little look at just what's on the side. Right here, you have a power button, which will turn the phone on or lock the phone. You also have a dedicated camera button right here. On the bottom, you have the microphone. On this side, you have the volume controls. That's pretty much it. And then on the top, you have your micro USB port for charging or computer usage, with a little door just to close it. And then a headphone jack that will pretty much take stereo headphones. On the back, you see that you have your 5-megapixel camera and the flash. Come pre-installed on the Epic 4G is a 16 gig micro SD memory card that is actually from Samsung. And then you have your lithium-ion battery. And for those who are going to register your phone, your serial number is right under the battery. So, insert the battery back in. Just going to take a little look at the screen. You have a camera up here, which is a 0.3 megapixel, I believe, or 0.5. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the outside of the phone. Now we're going to take a little bit look at the hardware. We'll boot the phone up. So you can see the LED notification light at the top. This phone does have quite a remarkable boot speed compared to my BlackBerry. the Galaxy X logo. The one main concern that I do have with this phone is that it does feel cheap. It's very cheap plastic. And there we go. Have the lock screen. And now we're back to the main menu. Alright. Now this phone does come with some built-in applications. The Media Hub, which was actually, that's what the firmware version, or firmware update was for, to introduce Media Hub. But, you have your standard notification screen, which you can change from Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 4G, and GPS. Back up. You have your application drawer, which very poorly designed. I do not like it, but that's just me. See, something that this does come with that is kind of cool is all of the Sprint navigation and the Sprint apps. Just go through this again. There is the Media Hub, which is Samsung's new store. Not impressive. I don't like it. Can buy movies or rent movies depending on what you want. And it's not loading for some reason. Alright, we'll get out of that. Voicemail is a digital voicemail. You can go through any order that you want to, pause, repeat, fast forward, etc., etc. Have your basic Sprint applications. And honestly, this phone does run very well, despite the fact that it's only 2.2, except that Samsung's firmware really screws it up. I do not like it. I use Launcher Plus, Launcher Pro, actually. The skin on this phone is kind of weird. Anyway, you have the phone dialer. Messaging. And then, of course, you have your email, which I have not set up. The color tone of the application seems to be blue and pink, and I don't like that very much. But anyway, this is a overall, I give the performance of this phone, if you use your own launcher or home screen, which is what this is called, I definitely give it a 5 out of 5. The hardware on this phone, definitely a 4 out of 5, just because the keyboard does take some time to get used to. Software, what comes on the phone, 1 out of 5. It's terrible. Even though Samsung did go kind of easy on the bloatware. But swipe is a huge thing. And just the overall use of this phone, I really do enjoy it. It's got a big enough screen so that you can watch movies and web browse, but some of the movies do seem a little awkward on here. Another thing that I do not like is the fact that up here you have your headphone and charger, and when you're trying to text, of course it can get in the way. So, I mean, because you're texting up here, and you'll be hitting these. The camera is very good. I'll post a link to a video that I actually shot in 720p with this, which is actually an unboxing video for this. But anyway, this is AK from AK Tech, signing out.